House to Home, brought to you by Remax Diamond Realty.
Hi today, everybody, and welcome back. House to Home is the segment, and Liz Duenas is my friend, and she is going to tell us everything we need to know about another aspect of living and renting and owning and capitalizing on property ownership on Guam, whether as a business person or as a tenant. You've obviously been very successful on both sides, but tonight, Liz, we're going to actually talk about something interesting. For people that are renting, why don't they actually make the move into home ownership? And you know what? Feel free to use me as your guinea pig, because I am definitely in that bucket.
Okay, so if you're renting, for example, how much are you renting right now?
$800 per month.
$800, okay.
I got a good deal, actually.
So if you're renting $800 a month, you could actually afford to buy a condo or a house that's worth up to $150,000. Of course, we would send you to the bank and have them pre-qualify you, but why not take that rental money and put it in your pocket? The American dream, and I'm sure the owners, the younger generation here in Guam, the dream is to own their own home. So why pay the rent to someone else when you could put that rent in your pocket? So at $800 a month, that could be a mortgage payment. Mm-hmm. Now, we've got programs, of course, that could help you, and we can provide consultation to any potential buyer that, their family's growing, they are tired of renting. Our job is to help everyone that we can to assist them in the process. Of course, they have to have good credit, they must have a good credit score.
Okay, there's a thing, and I remember when I was growing up, kind of the formula that a lot of people, and like our parents passed down to us, they said, you graduate from high school with hopefully good grades, and if you're lucky, you either get into a really good college or you join the military, and you save up some money, and over time, once your credit score is good enough and you've got enough of a good kitty in the bank, then you can move to home ownership, maybe when you're in your early 30s or so. Is that kind of moving a little bit younger?
The younger generation now are getting into buying, and they're looking at properties around. We've had some people that will actually look at land. I had one gal, she's probably in her 20s, 20, 21.
Wow.
She looked at a piece of property and she thought, wow, I'd like to eventually buy. So she identified a piece of property, we put in the offer. She went to the bank and got an 80-20 loan. Of course, she probably had some help from her mom, and put 20% down, was able to purchase the land, and eventually she will build on it. Mm-hmm. So, you know how they say you start somewhere. You can either buy land or a small house. For example, right now we have a house that's priced at $99,900 in Jotnya. Can you believe that? It's a 3-bedroom home, and it's in fairly good condition. Mm-hmm. It's not one of those bad fixer-uppers.
3-bedroom home.
A 3-bedroom home for $99,000.
That's really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you let me just calculate that. So if you were paying,
and look at this, ladies and gentlemen, first with a calculator that large, she knows what she's talking about. This is serious business.
And by the way, there's applications now. I have it on my phone, but for our purposes, I've got this along. Yes. So if it's $99,000 is the loan amount, let's say a 30-year term, and by the way, the banks right now have 4-point-something% interest, which is great. The old days we were paying 8, 9, 10%. Now it's 4-point-something. So if you did a 30-year term, and let me just redo that, $99,900 is your loan amount, 30-year term. Let's say a 5% interest. I'm being conservative. Your monthly payment is $536. Duh.
Okay, so there's not only a financial benefit in the reduced amount of money that I would pay month to month, but as a lot of people don't really realize until you're in your late 20s and late 30s, there's also a pragmatic aspect of it, which is the equity.
Right. Exactly. And I was going to go there.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you buy that, over time, your property will appreciate. And of course, we recommend that people maintain your property, keep it at its best. So as time progresses, it appreciates in value. So your $99,000 home, a number of years from now, might be worth $150,000 or $175,000. And by that time, you're ready to buy up. So families would normally either rent the first home and buy up so that they can accommodate their larger family. So they're building equity. They've got equity in that home. They can either sell it to buy up. My son, for example, he bought a condo in and at the time it was only 50-something thousand. So he bought that. He made arrangement with the owner, so he bought that condo and eventually sold that and bought a condo for it was like 150,000. And then later he decided, okay, I'm ready to build, so he sold that condo and built a house. And by the time he sold it, his value appreciated. So each time he bought and sold, there was an appreciation value that he took. He applied it to the next property and then continued to do so. So now he has a house in Jotnia.
And again, so people understand out there watching this right now, it's not like owning a car where you can go through in 40 years of your life. You can maybe own 6 or 7 cars and everything like that. Every home you own, even if you wind up flipping it and turning it over and something like that, the banks do take that into consideration. That goes directly to your credit score, correct?
That's right. And of course, keep your credit clean. If you have debt, pay it on time. Or if there's some rationale for how the payments are late, sometimes the bank will allow for it and they'll clean it up. But also bear in mind, if you have a credit problem, there's a solution. You can fix it. For every problem, there's a solution. So we just tell people, well, for the next couple years, rebuild your credit, pay everything on time, start small, and by the time the 2-year period is over, then you can get a new credit score at that time and purchase a house. So we've had situations where credit was bad. I tell them, are you serious? I'll work with you. You have to follow instructions. And then they do, and by the end of that 2-year period, they can buy a home.
All right, well, tell you what, everybody watching out there in TV land, please don't call Liz about that $99,000 property in Jotnia right now, because she and I are going to go to commercial break where we're actually going to talk about that. So Liz, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, and everybody, please stay tuned because Liz and I got an interesting talk about property in Jotnia, but we'll be back after this.